I tried to tell people years ago. Opie and Anthony tried to tell people years ago. Artie Lange came on my show after Opie and Anthony and unloaded for 40 fucking minutes and gave all sorts of detail. We tried to tell people forever, and it's now coming out in little tidbits. And the article that came out yesterday, basically, I think they're saying that at company Christmas parties, you were told not to say hi to Howard Stern. And then one of Howard Stern's little kiss asses came out and said the article was bullshit. And I'm like, no, it's not. We all have stories. Of course it's not bullshit. Stop lapping his ass. I don't even think this guy works for the show anymore. You don't have to kiss his ass anymore. You're not even there anymore. Of course they weren't allowed to say Howard Stern. Howard Stern worked for SiriusXM. I said worked because he doesn't work for them anymore. He's going to do one show a week. And, man, people are just crushing him and have a lot to say about him. And I think we're about a month away from Howard Stern finally going back at his critics. In another month, he'll be finally doing one show a week.
One show a week. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. So Howard was never a company guy. Howard got a shit ton of money from SiriusXM, and he didn't give a shit about anything else Sirius was doing. And Howard had his separate area that was not connected to Sirius. Well, it was technically connected, but he had his own compound. He didn't want to mingle with nobody. All the years I worked in the same building as Howard, I could count on maybe one hand the amount of times I saw him. He just never walked the hallways. It was very, very rare. He had his own compound, and he was safe there for his narcissism and his ego, and to have everyone trying to get his attention and kissing his ass. He had his own area. I saw in the article they were talking about it being kind of cultish. Of course it was cultish. Howard was embarrassed that he was working for SiriusXM. He didn't want that association. He was like, no, I'm Howard Stern, and I don't give a shit what else you guys do when I'm not on the air.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said you almost never saw Howard Stern in the hallways in the office, right?
Right.
Wasn't that because you weren't allowed to enter until he was not on the floor or something? Like, you didn't see him because there was security not allowing you to see him. Am I getting that right?
Well, have I showed you that video?
Listen, I don't know. I didn't even know what O&A meant. What video?
Wait, I've never shown you the famous video that absolutely was my demise. Because
I've never seen this video.
Because I wasn't playing nice like everybody else. And what that means is kissing his fucking ass and staying out of his way. Even Club Soda Kenny famously told me, he goes, I wouldn't do that if I was you, GH. And I said to myself, this is no way to work for a company that treats everyone else like shit. Even a show like mine, Opie and Anthony, we were treated like shit in general. And then after Opie and Anthony, I kept the damn thing going for a few years, 3 or 4 years after that. And I was still doing good. And they treated me like shit. So it really came to a point in my head where I was thinking, you know what, this is no way to work. This company, they only give a shit about Howard Stern, and everyone else could go screw.